Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be analyzing a very interesting and a game that, contrary to the video that I uploaded yesterday, this game was very fun to play. It was very exciting all the way through, and we get a Queen's Gambit accepted. Now, there's many ways to play against this opening. I chose to play the move e3 because it's the easiest option. You just want to take the pawn on c4 and just either play a position where black plays c5 and takes here, which is called the isolated queen's pawn, IQP. That can very often arise from these positions, in which case white has a lot of dynamic possibilities. Or black does not play c5, in which case white will get a clear advantage, which is exactly what happened in this game. And what I find extremely interesting, I can turn on the engine here, is that for the middle game, in the entire middle game, I made virtually no mistakes. I haven't done game review. Here I played an interesting idea, just play bishop d3. I learned this from a book. The idea is, if you ever place b5 now, I'm always going to be meeting that with c4, a4. And there's many ideas here for white. If black plays b5, like, if, for example, b5, b4, I can rewrite my knight to c4, maybe even rewrite the knight to c5, you get the point. So black plays h6, I develop my knight, he goes knight to 6, and I cast, right? He plays bishop b7, I develop knight to c3, and I realized the only way that I can play for an advantage is rapid development. That's the only way. So I'm thinking here I'm going to play queen e2, bishop d2, rook c1, rook f c1, and just target his queen, target the pawn on c7, and e4 d5. Like, it's very straightforward, the position is very nice. He castles, and I just play e4, which is the best move, and the main move for the advantage. He goes here, and I just play e5. So already, I'm thinking, okay, he probably has to play knight d5. And, yeah, my pawn here is weak, but if he takes, my pawn structure is fixed. And I can just play bishop c. Yeah, the engine actually recommends it as well. Bishop c3, queen d3, and mate. He ended up playing knight h7, moving the knight away to another spot. So he's playing very tricky, he doesn't want to give him anything. I just play bishop f4, one of the moves, developing a piece. He goes knight g5, and I take it with bishop, because I thought this bishop isn't going to be that useful anyway. He takes it, and I just go e3. And this was my idea of the position, right? Generally, the way you play in these positions is that you want to set up a mate attack here, which sounds a little bit anti-positional. That's a little bit point. Bishop d2, queen d3, checkmate. How are you going to stop that? Because of my superior space advantage, because this bishop can't go to f5, black can't really do anything about it, right? And also because black played h6, now g6 is very weird, although the engine recommends it. I was also thinking of bishop b1 and queen d3. The bishop b1 unlocks my rook. I was also thinking of bishop c2, but I was worried about knight b4. So bishop c2, knight b4, I was like, now I have to move my bishop again, and knight b4 is pretty annoying. So I played a3, which is not the top suggestion, but it's one of the best moves. That is, for example, bishop c2 and queen d3 and checkmate. He ended up playing bishop b7. I played bishop c2. He plays f5. I was like, what should I play in this position? The engine says +2, but you have to find the only move. And the point here is to block the diagonal. But obviously, I have en passant. He takes with the rook, and I just go queen d3. And already, this is a threat. But he doesn't do anything about it. Now queen h7 is completely winning. But I found another idea, because also calculating queen h7, he can just move his king aside, and I am winning here. I can just probably play knight e5 according to the engine. But I was like, what? Maybe he can somehow defend here, though in this case I just win in full rook. Actually I just win a full rook. He probably has to move the king here, but then a5 is check. And then here he's even more losing, so I just win a full rook there. But I ended up playing the move d5, and I thought this was very interesting. He has just opened up the position, right? He takes the take with the knight, ends up sacrificing the exchange back. There's not really much he can do. I don't really know what I was expecting. I'm probably expecting him to go here, but then queen h7 just wins on the spot. And then here such just knight f4, and GG. So he ended up sacrificing the exchange back and playing knight e5. So nothing really that exciting yet. I win a pawn, he goes here, I go queen b3 check, king h8, and I just move my rook in the center. Obviously, I already prepared queen g3 here. He goes here, I go here, and I blunder. Here, I can play literally anything else. Rook e7. I was thinking about this move. It's like bishop e4. This is a very professional move. I want to just simplify. But I realized while after playing the move that he can just take and go here, and this is what he played, 92, and he's forking me. I get rook e7, and I just have this position. So I have to win against him again in this endgame. I'm up a pawn. He goes rook b8, and I go b4. He goes c6, I go rook c7, and he goes rook b6. So it's a very passive position. And I don't play the right move. I move my king. Apparently here I should play rook f7. And then after this move, play take. But there's always this idea, but then in this case, the reason I play this move is to play rook f5. Right? But what ended up happening in the game is that I played king e2, he played a5, and he's threatening to take. And generally speaking, doubled or not, by the way, even if it's doubled pawns or like this, if you want to win a position like this, you need a pawn on the left side of the board. You cannot have a 3 and 2. This is never winning. Never winning, by the way. So I have to keep one of these pawns. So I have to take, and here I come up with a beautiful concept. Some of you guys will probably just move the king and then lose both of your pawns and then win this pawn, but that's not the way. You have to go back and defend the pawn on a3. You're giving away a pawn to save this pawn, because eventually what might happen is I'll maybe win this pawn, and then I will have a pass pawn followed by these three, which don't really matter. The point is I need this outside pass pawn to win the game. So my opponent plays c5, and I move the king to guide that. He goes here, which is not the best idea because I just go here, he goes here, and I go here. So I already win the game, except there's rook a6, which is very tricky. And I thought here it's very difficult for me to win. Right, I play king b3, not the best move because of c4. And I'm a little bit in trouble. By the way, here I was thinking about this idea. He plays c4. If I take it, he takes the pawn and this is equal. And you can probably tell this is equal. There's no way I can promote my pawn. No, it doesn't matter. The only way I can win here is if my opponent blunders the king, like just gets checkmated. That's the only thing I can think of if I want to play for a win here. But I move my king. I move my king to b2, which is actually the best move. Also, king b4 is possible. But I was a little bit unsure about c3, but apparently rook c5 just wins there. I was also a little bit unsure about this move. Okay, everything should win. But I play king b2 with the idea to play c3 and king b3, which is a beautiful idea, by the way, to go king b2 and king b3. Not really that beautiful. I mean, it's not really that weird. He goes rook c6, and here I was planning in advance to go rook king c2. So there's this weird kind of way to go here and here and king c2. He goes rook 6. Sorry. If he went here, I would have went here. This was the entire point, by the way. This is the entire reason why this entire plan would have taken place. I was thinking from this position, here, and I defend my pawn. I defend the pawn and I attack. So I was calculating from afar. He goes here. I obviously don't want to take my pawn, and then here I have more winning moves, but this is the main move. And again, I cannot allow him to get this position. This position is always a draw. Like, even if my pawns were not doubled, a 3 versus 2 is always a draw in rook games. So I played rook b3, and I was like very happy about my position. Right, I take the pawn, move my king forward, and nothing really exciting happens. I think this game should be a draw for the rest. Sorry, it should be a win for the rest of the game. Yeah, he goes for interesting counterplay now. I play an interesting concept known as building a bridge. I just go here and here and here. And this is already over, right? Maybe there was like, he can probably just wait here and kind of not allow me to get this bridge type of thing. But I'm still completely winning. I mean, you can just play like g4, not allow any play, and apparently play like rook b4, king b2, and I make a queen, and I'm completely winning. But anyways, I went here and blocked. He ended up, playing for a few moves more, and I eventually never checkmated him. But I think this was a really, really beautiful game where I really just made one mistake. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I made one mistake this entire game. Every other move was really played purely based on intuition. Like d5, I think, was pretty nice. Completely winning. And then I make one mistake. I blunder the exchange with this move, bishop b4. Just missed this move. But I'm still winning. And then I play another mistake here, allowing a5. I'm still winning, but this is harder to win. right? Apparently black here could fight for longer, and here was the critical moment. Where going here just makes no sense. I mean, I thought this during the game, like g5 here probably is better, king c4, and just king g7, just bring the king. And I kind of just have to play like rook f3, just trying to kind of prevent his king from going forward, but it's really hard to make progress because his rook is stopping all the play. But anyways, this position should be winning apparently. Yeah, I can probably just like stall him out or something. How is this winning, by the way? King d5 apparently, and just rook d3. How's it winning? Maybe it's just like the sort of, oh, king c6. So actually, this is really interesting. This is the way I win the position. You just go here, kick away the rook, and then you exactly king. Okay, that's interesting. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave a like or something. But yeah, bye.